So apparently my haircut is out of style. Apparently any hairstyle that looks like it requires a lot of maintenance or where every hair needs to be in a particular place, heavy pomades, comb lines, the side part, the Edgar cut, designs, they're out. And the broccoli cut, don't even think about it. What is in style? Apparently the mullet. Seriously, I know 3 guys, 2 of which are respectable family men that are rocking this cut. In fact, if you talk to enough stylists, you're gonna find that haircuts from 1984 to 1996 are back in style. The trends being driven by TikTok are haphazard, lived in, you could even say a little bit sloppy. So how do you go about getting a haircut that looks great? And what do you need to know before you see your barber next? Well, gentlemen, that is the subject of today's video. So based off that introduction, some of you guys may be thinking, Antonio, are you finally going to change your hairstyle? Over the years, I've had various lengths. I've combed it in different ways, used different products. But yeah, for the most part, over the last decade, I have had the same hairstyle. So, is it time for a change? Well, the answer is most likely not. I think for the majority of us, it's good news because it just goes to show as a man, you don't have to jump on the next hair fashion trend. Seriously, you just need to find the style that suits you and occasionally play with the lengths, the way it's combed, change out the product you're using. But overall, unless you go with something extreme, the classic hairstyles are always going to be in style. So for me as a side part guy, I'm safe. But what if you want to level up your style, step up your image? How do you find the perfect haircut for you? Well, the first step, gents, is to consult with a professional. Yeah, I know, that's why you're watching these videos, or better yet, you're actually watching videos by hairstylists on YouTube that are showing you all these different styles, all these different looks. But here's the deal. Nothing beats an in-person consultation with somebody that can actually look at your hair up close. But even an inexperienced stylist who's been working for 1 year, well, this person at least gives about 10 haircuts a day, has worked, let's say, 200 days in the last year. Gents, that's 2,000 haircuts and at least a few hundred heads that this professional has worked on. Oh, and they also went to school and studied this stuff, and most likely they enjoy this line of work, hence why they got into it. My point is, even an entry-level professional knows a lot. So if you can call around and find a haircut professional that's passionate and takes their job seriously enough that they have no problem shampooing your hair and talking with you and explaining to you with your particular hair type, gents, this one action, finding a great stylist or barber, can totally transform your look. Because the reality is, when you see a celebrity with great hair, they're not just walking into a barber for the first time and giving them explicit directions on what to do. Not like anything that matters, they are working with a professional who takes care of them and helps them find hairstyles that work for them. Now, gents, if you're watching this video and thinking, Antonio, why do I even care about this? I am going to lose my hair. Seriously, maybe it's already started. You're starting to see the receding hairline. Well, gents, if that's you, if you're starting to lose your hair, you need to check out today's sponsor, Keeps. Now, gents, Keeps is an online subscription service that makes it easy and affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness. And gents, you can do this all from the comfort of your own home. So with Keeps, you get clinically proven treatments that address hair loss and boost hair regrowth. All of this delivered to your front door in discreet packaging. To get started, gents, go to keeps.com/RMRS. So once you're over on their website, you're going to complete an online consultation. After that, your treatment plan is personalized to meet your unique needs and is recommended by a licensed medical professional. And gents, Keeps has a track record. They've helped over 1 million men keep their hair. And if you go over to their website, they've got over 4,500 5-star reviews. So remember, gents, when it comes to hair loss, it stops with Keeps. Awesome company, gents. I've worked with them for years. And again, if you use that link, you're going to get the best deal on the web. So go over and check them out if you are losing your hair. Now that leads me to the next point tied to that first one, is to consistently work with a professional. And 2, you're coming to them with a head of hair that they have to work with what you have. If you've got short hair, but you want a longer hairstyle, there's only so much a skilled stylist can do in that first appointment. Now, if you can tell that this person is passionate about hair, and because you've watched so many videos here on YouTube about hair, you can ask some pretty good questions, and hey, they know their stuff. That right there should indicate to you, hey, I want to work with them at least 3 or 4 times and set up those appointments. So for 3 to 4 months, I'm going and seeing them. What should happen is after every haircut, it should get better and better. Not only are you feeling more confident about your style, but the stylist is actually getting to know your hair, the way it moves, the way it grows, the way it behaves, and they're adjusting to your wants. Now, you probably already know this because you're a smart person, but remember we talked about all those imperfections. Well, a great stylist is going to lean into those imperfections, and they're going to help you find a hairstyle that works with it, not against it. And that's an amateur mistake that a lot of us make when we're cutting and styling our own hair. We're always trying to cover up those things we see as imperfections versus turning into them and saying, you know what? I'm going to celebrate this. This is just part of who I am, and it's what makes me unique. I mean, if you think about it, it's the nature of things. Guys with straight hair want curly hair. Guys with curly hair want straight hair. A great stylist is going to lean into your natural characteristics. And this approach is going to have your hairstyle looking more natural and effortless. Now, the next key to getting the hairstyle you want is being able to talk to your barber in their own terminology. So when you say fade, understand that this is a gradient of hair length, typically shorter at the bottom and gradually longer towards the top. Variations include low fades, mid fades, and high fades. Now, a taper is similar to a fade, but more subtle. With a taper, the hair gradually gets shorter around the sides and back, blending into the top without a drastic contrast. Next up, let's talk about the layered cut. What exactly does this mean? So a layered cut is when the hair is cut at different lengths throughout, creating layers that add volume and movement. A lot of guys that have been cutting their own hair and it's gotten longer, they don't know how to layer. And what happens is all of a sudden the hair starts to poof out at the bottom. Simply put, the hair on the top of the head is actually longer than the hair on the sides. However, when this hair is properly layered, all of a sudden it's going to lay and flow differently and create, which I think most of us would agree upon, is going to be a more desirable look. Now, a textured cut is a style that incorporates layers and choppy ends to add texture and movement to the hair. And if you hear about a haircut being disconnected, this is a clear distinction between lengths, such as an undercut or a hard part where there is no gradual transition. So disconnected haircuts, you can clearly see where the hair has been cut. Now, what are hard parts? They're out of style, but if you ever hear the word, understand it means a shaved line on the scalp, creating a distinct part in the hair. Now, what about a fringe? So a fringe is where the hair is cut and styled to fall on or across the forehead, also known as bangs. Now, past this, we start to get in different haircuts. On the shorter end, we've got the buzz cut, which is an even, very short cut all around the head achieved with clippers. Now, the crew cut is a short haircut where the top is slightly longer than the sides, which are usually tapered or faded. Now, the Ivy League is a variation of the crew cut where the top is long enough to part and style while the sides are kept short. And the comb over is a bit longer, and it's where the hair is parted on one side and combed over to the other, often used in combination with a fade or taper on the sides. So you're speaking your barber's language, and if that still is too much work, one of the hacks that I love is simply having a picture of me with a great haircut, with a style that I want to go back to. Now, this doesn't work if you want to change up your hairstyle, but if you stick with the same hairstyle, then have that picture so you can quickly pull it up, or better yet, have a video, especially after the last time you get a great haircut and you just love the look of it, so you've got that next time, or maybe in 6 months if you got to change up barbers. Now, I think it's really important when you're choosing a stylist, when you're choosing a barber, as I talked about at the beginning, that you get along with them, that they actually are going to make time for you, especially if you're changing up your style and you're not sure exactly how to style it, because this person is a professional in a matter of seconds. All of a sudden you're looking at your hair and you're like, wow, this is great. Before you get out of that chair, before you leave, don't be afraid to ask your stylist, hey, can you show me how you did this? If you've got a friend there, if you've got your wife or girlfriend around, maybe they can videotape the actual process. What product in particular? Are they using a hairdryer? Yes, a hairdryer makes a huge difference in being able to shape the hair. What type of brush do they use? Look and ask questions. Don't be afraid to look stupid, because you're not. This is how you learn, and you're going to be able to get that look again and again. And again, if you take care of your stylist, you tip them well, and you keep coming back to see them, they should have no problem doing this. Now, as for the current trends and styles, your barber stylist should know this, but I'll tell you guys again what we're seeing, and that is that people are going towards disheveled, less work, less maintenance. And that's an important point, because you may think, hey, I really like the look of this, but if you're going to have to go in and see your barber every week, every 2 weeks, which yes, there are routines and there is maintenance that's needed for certain hairstyles, that's probably not the perfect hairstyle for you if you want something that you only have to go see the barber every 6 weeks. Because at $100, $50, even $25 a cut, that can add up really quick if you're having to go in multiple times a month. So talk with your barber about that. What is maintenance? What is upkeep? But again, across the board, especially in the younger demographic, we're talking guys 18 to 25, 25 to 30, it seems like they're going with longer flowing hair. You're even starting to see perms that are coming back, especially for the younger guys. Again, TikTok is driving a lot of these trends. But the bigger thing with longer hairstyles, and guys in their 20s and 30s appreciate this, is you don't have to deal as much maintenance. And maybe that's why the mullet is so popular. You got it short there on the sides, you got the party in the back. Overall, though, it's a relatively easy haircut. You don't have to go to the barber very often, common and it's just in general low maintenance. Me personally, as a professional in my 40s, I'm sticking with the classic styles. Maybe I'll stay away from the heavier products, the heavy shines. Stick with products like fibers and clay, which have high hold and can be reshaped throughout the day, but don't really show themselves in your hair because they have no sheen. Gents, check this video out. You will for sure understand product much better after watching this video. So yeah, click it right here. Oh yeah.